Welcome to One with the Other Way, a podcast about your journey and finances. I'm your host, James. We have Peggy with us today, and we're doing another episode on Reddit reactions. This first comment that we're looking at today is, am I cooked? I'm 23 and $96,000 in debt. I'm 23, almost 24, just secured my first job paying $75,000 a year. I had a bad relationship and was in a fight or flight mode where I was continuously ignoring my finances. I feel like my life is over and I'm living at home now. So 96,000 in total open balances, 20,000 in credit cards, 6,000 in collections, 32,000 in student loans, but that will go up because they're getting their MBA soon. $0 in other loans, 36,000 in auto loans, 0 in home loans, and they have 3,500 in a Roth IRA and no other savings. And so they have a quick edit to this comment saying that thank you for the honest advice and kind words. Their plan is to, one, work on getting out of their car and into a cheaper option, and having a strict budget for the next 18 months to pay off all their credit card debt and collections, and then start a savings account. That's what their current plan is. Let's have Peggy, as a financial advisor, you see this. What are your instant thoughts on this amount of debt, but all these other moving parts to this scenario?
Well, so first, congratulations on your new job, right? So that's good. First step there, get the job, and then you'll be able to move better forward. That's a lot of debt for a 24-year-old. I don't think that you're cooked. You're young, so you can get out of it. I think you're going to have to be really patient. You have to know that it's going to take a long time to get out of it. It's not going to be a quick thing. I think one of the comments had said, you're living at home, you can be done in 3 years. Maybe on paper, but as we know how it goes when you have paper budgets, it looks great on the paper, but then somehow it's difficult. So that's another reason we use cash flow. The going back to school or staying in school, I don't know what their career is going to be. Did they mention what they were going to get a master's for?
It's an MBA, so Master's of Business Administration.
Oh, okay, an MBA. All right. I'm not a huge fan necessarily of more student loans. Maybe you could apply for some scholarships. That would be one thing I would suggest. Apply for some scholarships. It's great that you're living at home. I don't know how long you're going to be able to live at home, right? If that's a long-term plan, you're going to live at home, then yes, definitely continue to try to tackle the debt, and then the savings. I would do savings concurrently with that, because you need to be ready in case your living at home situation changes. As we all know, your living situations are not always solid. So I would do some savings. Getting rid of the car and getting a less expensive option is a smart move. If you can do that, that would be great. There's a lot of things here that it doesn't talk about. Like you got a new job, so 75,000. Do you have to pay for your medical expenses? So there's a lot of unknowns in this cash flow. So I don't know exactly how fast you're going to be able to pay off all of this, but definitely make sure that you're taking advantage of your work's benefits. So if work has a work insurance, if work has a retirement plan, definitely get into that retirement plan. And I would put in the minimum to get the maximum that they give you. So that would be a good thing to do. Additionally, you should look into, since you have student loans, sometimes there's some companies that will pay on your student loans for you. There's that new legislation, right? So it's been out for a couple of years, but where your company can actually help you pay down your student loans. So I would look into that as a benefit for companies. That might be a way that you could also get some help on your student loans. I mean, those would be my first thoughts about how to move forward. But I think the biggest one is going to be time. You got to stick with it, and time. Live within your means right now. Try not to accumulate any additional debt. That's why the school thing, do you have to do your MBA right now? And if you got a job and you're making $75K, does your employer have education reimbursement? Because that also might help you to pay for it, rather than just thinking that you're going to accumulate more debt for your schooling.
So is there an order at which you think is best to pay off some of these things? We've talked in previous episodes about higher interest, but knowing that there's credit cards, there's collections, there's getting rid of this car, how would you tackle this if you were talking to someone, they didn't have this other Reddit advice, people coming to them, and they had a lot of different kinds of debt? How would you tell someone to prioritize their debt?
Well, first of all, you have to get the collections under control because they will bug you. And so you need to know your rights. So you should do a little research on what your rights are during collections so that they are not calling you every other day, calling your work. And you need to put a stop to those collections. You need to be setting up a monthly payment ASAP so that they don't go to where they're garnishing your wages. I don't know what the collections are for. So I don't know if that's even a possibility. But sometimes when you're in that situation, it can escalate. And also you can end up with legal fees that would compound the debt. So I would right away get on top of the collection so that you know what you're doing and they know that you're doing something, and they will try to get you to, they're pressure you, and they will try to tell you that that's not good enough. But you make a payment plan with them and then you stick to it and you pick the amount based on what you can afford. So that would be the first thing that I would do. Get rid of the car and get a less expensive option. But I mean, good luck with that. It's going to be difficult because now you're 24, 25 years old and you have collections and a good amount of debt. So getting a car loan is going to be a hard thing. So getting rid of your car and getting something less expensive would be a good option. And the other debt would be, I would prioritize it on the interest. But you have to remember too that you have to service all those debts. So if there's a lot of credit cards, that's a lot of minimum payments that is just going to be tough. When you do your tax returns, if you actually do get any kind of refund, you should be talking to somebody. I mean, this is the kind of person that has so much going on that sitting down and having a consultation about all of that would really be the way to do it.
Yeah, this is a lot to handle by one person. And the one thing that kind of sticks out to me, I mean, 23, 24 years old. I don't know how high their credit limit would be on one credit card. So I'm guessing that there's
It's
quite
multiples.
a few.
I would assume it's probably quite a few credit cards. Yeah, that's probably true. Because when people are young and you're in college, right, the credit card companies seek you out, right, for a couple of reasons, right? They can charge you high interest because you're unknown and you're a high risk, and so you want credit, so you take them, and then you're young and things happen, and you don't necessarily have the discipline, you don't necessarily have the cash flow, things happen, and then you start accumulating balances. So yeah, I would think that it's probably 3 or 4 credit cards at least. And
Yeah.
some of them might even be like department stores,
Yep.
They say,
Or
if
airlines,
you,
they do those
yeah,
cards all the
airline
time.
ones. But I bet it's more like department stores and then the the major credit card companies, because department stores, you go and you buy something and they'll be like, oh, if you sign up for the card today, you save $120, which sounds like a great deal until,
Yeah, but you don't know what you're signing up for fully.
well, right. And it's really about paying it off, interest rate, and are you going to buy things that you wouldn't have bought if you didn't have the credit? That's a big thing to think about when you're young and you're buying things on credit. Do I need this? Is it a want? Is it a need? And if I didn't have a credit card to put it on right now, would I buy it? I
Yeah.
think those are really
Well,
good things to ask yourself.
well, one thing I want to touch on, it's especially happening more for young people nowadays, outside of credit cards, are buy now, pay later,
Yes.
like apps and stuff. And I wanted to just quickly touch base because
Yeah.
I feel like I see online a lot of horror stories with buy now, pay later who
Um,
build up quite a lot over a short amount of time.
those are really, really hard to get out of. So that's like there's those, what you're talking about. There's the buy it now, have no interest for X period of time. Those are dangerous. The buy now, pay later, the paycheck advance ones, those
Yep.
are all things that they may think that, oh, well, we're helping people that they need the money right now. We're giving advance on their paychecks, right?
Yep.
But that is just giving you more and more debt. And it's not an expensive debt, it's expensive right? They charge you high interest rates, they charge you fees, they charge you, right? So, and then it's difficult to get out of that situation.
Yep.
So those are other things to be very cautious about. I mean, I'm not saying that those places are all evil, but be very, very careful when you use them. I mean, if you can avoid them, that would be the best choice, obviously.
There's a lot of young people face a different playing field in terms of credit nowadays than I even feel like our parents' generation, for instance, handled. And so it's everything is on your phone. It's such a quick.
Well, that's
easy...
the thing too. It's easy. It's very easy to get credit now in a way, because you're right. You just do it on your phone. It's super fast, whatever. But I mean, my generation had the same things. I had credit cards out when I was young, and it was very difficult to get out of. And I can understand that. I think it's that we don't think about it, and that everything is so fast and moves so quick, and you can just tap this, tap that, and it's so easy to spend.
Yeah.
Right. So we've made it so that we used to use the term keeping up with the Joneses, and that usually meant a house and a car. But now it's like clothes and bags and, $10 coffees, and socialization now is around things like that.
Well, if you feel like you yourself might be cooked, maybe you're not. Best way you can determine is if you talk to a financial advisor, and you can meet with Peggy at financesforreallife.com. You can schedule an appointment in the top right of the page, and you can continue to follow this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a great rest of your day. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Finances for Real Life, a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial. The opinions voiced in this podcast are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which strategies or investments may be suitable for you, consult the appropriate qualified professional prior to making a decision.